Imagine a city, vibrant and alive, suddenly sliced in two overnight. Families separated, destinies altered in an instant. This is the incredible, true story of the Berlin Wall. A stark symbol from one of the most tense periods in modern history, the Cold War. Let's rewind to the end of World War II. Germany, defeated, was carved up into 4 occupation zones by the victorious Allied powers, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union. The capital, Berlin, found itself in a peculiar situation. Though it was deep inside the Soviet-controlled Eastern Zone, the city itself was also split among the 4 powers. The western part of Berlin became an island of democracy and capitalism in a sea of communism. This setup was never going to be simple, and it didn't take long for this geographical split to ignite a massive political and ideological firestorm. As the years went by, the contrast between East and West became impossible to ignore. The West, supported by the Marshall Plan, was rebuilding rapidly. Its economy was booming, and its people enjoyed political freedoms. In the East, under Soviet influence, economic recovery was slow, and personal liberties were heavily restricted. It's no surprise that many East Germans started looking west for a better life. Between 1949 and 1961, nearly 3 million people fled from East Germany to West Germany, most of them passing through the open border in Berlin. This brain drain of skilled workers, professionals, and young people was a huge embarrassment and a severe economic blow to the East German regime. They knew they had to do something drastic to stop the bleeding. That drastic measure came on the night of August 13, 1961. Under the cover of darkness, while Berliners slept, a plan was set in motion. East German soldiers and police descended upon the border between East and West Berlin. They tore up streets, strung miles of barbed wire, and dug trenches. By morning, the city awoke to a nightmare. Roads were blocked, train lines were severed, and the first concrete blocks were being laid. A city that had been won for centuries was now brutally divided. It happened so fast, so suddenly. The people who had crossed the border for a late movie or a visit with friends found themselves trapped, unable to return home. A simple line on a map had become a terrifying physical barrier. Life in the divided city was a daily struggle. The Berlin Wall wasn't just a structure of concrete and wire. It was a scar that ran through the heart of families and friendships. Imagine a child being unable to visit their grandparents just a few streets away. Imagine waking up one day and realizing your workplace, your school, or your significant other was now in another country, unreachable. The wall was a constant, grim reminder of the division. Watchtowers, armed guards, and a death strip filled with mines and booby traps made any attempt to cross a life-or-death gamble. Yet, the human spirit is resilient. People found ingenious ways to escape, through hidden tunnels, in secret compartments of cars, and even in hot air balloons. These daring escapes became legends, symbols of the unquenchable thirst for freedom. For nearly 30 years, the wall stood as a symbol of oppression. But by the late 1980s, the winds of change were blowing across Eastern Europe. Pro-democracy movements were gaining momentum, and the Soviet Union's grip was weakening. In East Germany, peaceful mass protests grew larger and louder. The final, almost accidental, push came on November 9, 1989. At a routine press conference, an East German official, Gunter Schabowski, was asked about new travel regulations. Confused by his notes, he mistakenly announced that East Germans could now cross the border freely, effective immediately. The news spread like wildfire. Within minutes, thousands of East Berliners surged towards the checkpoints, demanding to be let through. Overwhelmed and without clear orders, the guards finally opened the gates. The scenes that followed were pure euphoria. People streamed through, greeted by cheering West Berliners. Strangers hugged, champagne bottles were popped, and people climbed atop the wall, chipping away at it with hammers and chisels. A symbol of division became a stage for the world's greatest party. The story of the Berlin Wall is a powerful testament to the human desire for unity and freedom. It teaches us that even the most imposing barriers, built to divide and control, cannot extinguish hope. It's a reminder that walls can be torn down, not just by force, but by the collective will of people yearning to be free. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as moving as I did, please like and subscribe for more chapters from our shared history.